Here we go. I haven't filmed one of these in a while, but now I'm ready to. Yeah, so you might be able to tell or you can read the title. This is Religion in Europe Battle Royale. I also included the Islamic areas surrounding Europe. But it's not the whole country, so it's not all of Iran, it's just that part, which is mainly Azerbaijan, Iran. I even included a bit of Jewish down here by Israel. That's actually most of Israel, or a good amount of Israel, so it's actually not that useless. Oh yeah, atheism. I didn't include atheism, because if I did, it would be the majority in most places. And even, it's just, I don't want to say it's not a religion, but it's not, good, I don't necessarily believe in God or whatever, but, I'm not going to include it in a religion battle royale. I feel it kind of ruins the whole point. I obviously split Christianity, so we have, Catholic in blue, Protestant in red, and, Orthodox in black. I didn't split countries. I know Bosnia is pretty split. Most of this area is Catholic. I'm gonna go with that's Protestant. I'm gonna go with a bunch of this area, which has just everything. And then there's a lot of Muslims, and especially this area near Montenegro and North Macedonia. I imagine Cyprus is also split. Yeah. The only country which maybe I split, Serbia, but Kosovo is independent, so whatever. So I didn't split any countries, because if I did, Catholic would win easily, because they control a good amount of Germany, and I just didn't want to. Makes it more interesting. So yeah, let's begin. So what happens first is we have, so Catholic and Protestant, while both of these religions are pretty different and split off 500 years ago, they're still, no, what happens is, everyone hates Islam here. I think that's fair, right? So, they have a Christian and Jewish coalition being formed, against Islam, and yeah, that happened. So, the problem with this is, with the exception of North Africa down here, the Eastern Orthodox will get pretty much everything. So the conclusion is, Protestantism, they're not very happy. So what they do, instead of joining this coalition, is they side with the Islam. And now we have a major war breaking out between Islam and Protestantism versus, Eastern Orthodoxy and, Catholicism. So let's begin. Jews decide to side against the Muslims. So they are on the side of Eastern Orthodoxy and Catholicism. So let's go. To start off, we immediately have Catholicism, taking Kaliningrad. I know it's pretty well defended, and they actually attempt to, link up. However, that fails, and then they just leave. So that was such a success. What is actually a success, though, for Eastern Orthodoxy, is an invasion of Lithuania. So yeah, they do actually take it. However, the Protestants here, they get most of it. This does not this makes Eastern Orthodox really mad. So they were like, you know what, if you guys are so great, how about you take on that front all by yourself? What they focus on is taking over Albania and Kosovo, which they can do very easily, and, they're unable to take over Bosnia as it's connected. Wait, what are the sides? Shoot. Oh, it's, wait. Yeah, no. shoot, I just messed something up. Whatever. It's red and green versus blue and black. Okay, so blue and black both decide to partition Bosnia. They don't do it on Republika Srpska and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Instead, they decide to just draw a straight line. So now with those things out of the way, they have a major front being established. Eastern Orthodoxy, remember, is kinda in a bad position, as, remember, Protestantism is against, like, Eastern Orthodoxy and Catholicism are united against Islam. So what they do is, I made a video about this, but control of the green banana is crucial. And they want to keep control of the green banana. So what they do is immediately, all Catholic forces, like, rush into Germany. So they quickly invade. They actually, even though it's probably pretty heavily defended, they managed to capture the entire lowland region. And this is not good for Germany, as there's also Bavaria, which is Catholic. That falls. So now Germany, the Catholic parts, these parts are Catholic, this is Protestant, but this is like atheist. So yeah, I don't know if Protestantism was the correct religion for Germany, but it makes it a bit more fair. However, Islam manages to push Islam is able to push the black team over the Caucasus Mountains and actually invade Cyprus, cutting off Israel and taking the country. That's bad, as now a bunch of Muslim forces are able to head up into Turkey, which they've actually retreated to the thinner peninsula. However, they've kept their hold on this land. With Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy now doing really well, we have a Russian invasion of the Baltics, which goes very well. And the Catholics managed to take over Germany. And it's here where Protestants decide to sue for peace. Now, the Muslims are not happy about this, because they need the Protestants to stay in this war, because if the Protestants can stay in the war, maybe they could link up front somewhere. I don't know, it's not looking great for them. Maybe I made this a bit unfair and didn't take into consideration this, but whatever. So they decide to sue for peace. The Protestants are like, okay. And the blue team says fine. However, they take Denmark and Finland, and Northern Ireland. So now Protestantism is severely weakened to really just the UK and I guess parts of Scandinavia and the Nordic countries. So Protestantism is weak, however, they're on good relations with Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy, so that's good. What is still at war, though, is Catholicism. Catholicism decides to leave this war as they've gained a lot, and they decide to leave, so now it's just Eastern Orthodoxy versus Islam. So let's start that war. As many Iranian forces and Syrian and Iraqi forces are finally able to leave Israel and Cyprus, they finally make their way up into where they attempt to invade, that being, they decide to hold a defensive along the Caucasus, and instead they go towards Turkey, which they control the city of Istanbul, but that's about it. However, they eventually break through the Eastern Orthodox defenses and start to push into Greece, Greece is not happy about this, as the second largest city, Thessaloniki, is put under siege, and with it, the whole peninsula is actually cut off. This is, once again, not good for anyone, for Eastern Orthodox. Remember, a lot of Eastern Orthodox forces are up here putting down rebellions and just doing what, oppressive soldiers do. Islam is able to make a quick expansion into this part of Russia, and there's actually a good amount of people here. Like, I know it's west of the Urals, and Novosibirsk, I think it's called. It's not in this, it's not in frame. What is are a few other cities, and they hold a defensive on the Ural River, which goes about here, and from there they push up into the Ural Mountains, and I'm probably redrawing geography. However, this is now the Ural Mountains and then the Ural River. So now they kind of are just holding their forces there. They decide that's smart. It threatens Russia, so they have to keep some forces here. However, they don't need to attack there, as they have many other options, like conquering Greece, which they finally managed to do. And now, with a lot of Eastern Orthodox forces in a panic, Catholicism realizes, hey, they're weak, we could gain a lot, let's declare war. So they betray their former ally and agree to partition the Balkans along everything along these lines, which basically gives a greater Kosovo. However, much of Serbia is still given to the blue team. As far as Romania and Bulgaria go, the Muslims get Bulgaria, as well as Wallachia. However, Transylvania and Moldavia are both given to the blue team. This makes Hungary very happy. They're given to Hungary, by the way. So now Islam really wanting to get a part of Ukraine and even Crimea, that used to be Muslim, just so you know. They rush and they quickly take southern Ukraine and push into Odessa, and push along the end. They reached Kherson. I know, I'm so invested in the news. And they started defensive along the Dnipro River. With this, Ukraine starts to panic, as they do not want to be forced behind the Dnipro. And in this panic, the blue team manages to cross the Carpathian Mountains, and they take much of Ukraine. However, the major defense, the Dnipro River goes like that. The Muslims managed to gain control along the banks of the Dnipro, capturing the city of Dnipro as well as Kherson, and putting Kyiv under siege as the final holdout of Ukraine on the left bank. What they do manage to do, what the blue team manages to do, is cross the river up by Belarus. This doesn't mean much. What it does mean is that they could kind of invade from behind. However, the blue and green team aren't on the greatest terms, so that would take it would probably cause tensions to rise. What they can do is, what they are able to do is take over the Baltics, though. From here we even have Protestants looking to take back Finland, join on the side of these Protestants join on the side of everyone else and invade Finland, taking the country. And in a very surprised but not really surprised invasion, we have the green team crossing the why do I keep saying green team? We have the green team crossing the Ural River and capturing many major Russian cities in that area. City of Moscow, it's right there. That is a bad color. It's right there. Right there. So they now they take a defensive along the Volga River, and even they make a landing in Crimea. That works. From there, they're actually able to push into the rest of Ukraine, causing, once they land out of Crimea, they cause these two fronts to meet up, once again causing Ukrainian forces to panic, and the country effectively breaks into, it falls, and now we have an Islamic Ukraine. And a spearhead cuts them off at the Caucasus, and now the Caucasus region, being surrounded, falls to the Muslims. Am I overrating the power of the Muslims? Probably, but okay. From there we have this defensive along the Volga River, which looks something like that. Whatever. Doesn't. Actually, it does. Yeah, this is about what the defensive along the Volga River looks like. And the Volga River threatens Moscow. What doesn't? So a lot of forces have to leave the Eastern Front. No, the Western Front, which is weird to call this the Western Front, but whatever. Yep, this is the Western Front now, guys. The Western Front, they have to leave to defend the city of Moscow, so a combined Catholic-Protestant invasion looks to capture St. Petersburg. Eventually, the Catholics managed to get there first, angering the Protestants. However, not wanting to cause tensions, they allowed the Protestants to take over much of the area surrounding Belarus, and they managed to capture the city of, say, Smolensk. However, down south, the blue team still manages to take much of it. Now, with Moscow really under threat, they have all these forces in the south leaving. They're too stupid to sue for peace, by the way, which leads to chaos as both blue and green team forces rush to take the major cities in the area, which include none. They cross Volgograd, I guess, and Voronezh, which apparently is a major city. Blue team gets it, though. Then we have a green team. Green team invades up here in the north, not like that means anything. And finally, the city of Moscow is put under siege. As the Russian front effectively crumbles, all three sides rush in to surround the city. However, it's eventually the Muslims who manage to take it from two sides, and then the other two each only get part of the city. That's great. And just like that, Moscow is put under siege, as all three eventually look to capture the city. But the front that eventually falls, which front do I want to fall? You know what? I'm going to leave Moscow as an international zone. Neither side could agree on who should keep it. Neither front seems to be falling. So they give Moscow to international zone. I also do not care that Moscow is further south. I know it's like here, but whatever. This is Moscow now. And yeah, it's international, so That's great. I'm gonna end this video. My throat hurts, so bye.